What are you feeding your mind? And maybe another question that is just as important as that one is, where are you eating? The truth is, we've got, there's so many different ways, so many different avenues by which we consume information today. And perhaps you've heard that old adage, you are what you eat. And of course, this doesn't just apply to the physical food you eat, what you consume in terms of, you know, from mouth to stomach, but it's also relevant to what you consume when you interact with content that begins to form narratives in your mind. Narratives of negativity, narratives of pessimism, narratives that cause you to hate your existence or that cause you to hate the world, narratives that present a worldview of nihilism, maybe a narrative that causes you to lose focus, lose energy focusing on trivial matters. Maybe somebody cut you off in line, or you found yourself struggling to understand how somebody could treat you the way they treated you. Or maybe you received some bad news. Man, who hasn't received bad news in their life? But this bad news, you ruminate on it, you focus on it. And when you really sit down and think about it, you realize it's not worth the energy that you're losing over it. And yet you've spent hours waking and asleep focusing on this one thing, ruminating on this one negative experience. Maybe you fed your mind some negative content this week, negative news media. That's the world we live in. There's hardly ever anything good on the news. And we have to, just like we diet certain foods, we diet and make sure we avoid certain trans fats or, too much sugar, too much carbs. We have to be willing to have the same type of discipline when it comes to what we feed and what we allow us and what we allow ourselves to feed our mind. We live in the content age, and content is everywhere. In fact, you're interacting with content now via podcasts, via YouTube videos, YouTube shorts, Instagram posts. Man, there's content everywhere. There's never a moment where we are not interacting with content. When you have a conversation with a friend, they're going to share content with you. They're going to share a video with you. They're going to send you a text message containing content. And this content that you're receiving has the high probability of representing itself or manifesting itself in your disposition. So what you consume will present itself in some way or fashion in how you interact then with other people in the world. What you consume, if I could say it this way, has a high probability of manifesting itself in your physical disposition, in your emotional disposition, how you interact with your loved ones, how you interact with your friends. It's all contingent upon what you fed yourself and what you've allowed yourself to be fed that week or even that month. So instead of feeding yourself negativity, instead of feeding yourself pessimism, find a reason to smile. Find a reason to focus on something positive. Feed yourself optimism. Feed yourself a good story. Feed yourself some good news. Divorce this negative content. Divorce content that causes you to feel heavy, causes you to feel like you're in a rut. This content does not only come by way of electronic mediums, but this content also comes by way of the relationships we have, by way of the people we interact with. You have to find a way. You'll have to find a way to intentionally mine your life and discover ways that you are feeding yourself and feeding your mind negativity. Choose to surround yourself with people who disagree with your nihilistic disposition. Choose to surround yourself with people who would be honest with you when you are taking all of the positive energy out of the room. When you are the problem, surround yourself with people who will be honest with you, not to hurt you, not to tear you down, but people to say, hey, I've noticed you've been focusing on this one experience all week. How can I help you? How can I help you overcome that situation? Maybe you'll find yourself in a situation where you need professional therapy, and that's okay too. But find a way to surround yourself with people who would disagree with your nihilistic disposition. If the only thing that you hear every day is negativity, that's the only thing you're going to be every day, is a negative person. Paul gives us a prescription for positivity. He gives us a prescription of food, of things, if you will, food to feed our mind with. He says in Philippians chapter 4, fill your minds and meditate on things that are noble, things that are reputable, things that are authentic. Man, think about an authentic experience you had recently. Maybe an experience where you went on vacation and that vacation just changed your life. Maybe you formed close relationships when you had a certain experience. Maybe you went to a recent event and you met a new friend, you met somebody new. Those are authentic experiences. If you're a father like me, I think oftentimes about the experience I had when I was present the night both of my boys were born. These experiences are authentic to me, and they help me to think on things that are authentic. Think about things that are compelling. Think about things that are gracious. Think about things that are the best, not the worst. Think about things that are beautiful, not things that are ugly. I don't live in a bottle. I know that there are negative things in this world. There are ugly things in this world. Every waking moment, we're surrounded and bombarded with negativity. But I choose to let those thoughts come in, and the same way they came in, they can exit through the other end. I choose, and you can too. I choose not to be burdened with negative thoughts, to be burdened with nihilistic ideas, ideologies that tell me that everything in the world is bad. Those narratives are out there, but they're not true. Not everything in the world is negative. Not everything in the world is bad. Think on things that are praiseworthy. Think on things that are true, things that are a blessing, not things that are that cause you to have negative thoughts. Feed your mind well this week. Feed your mind well this week. Feed your mind well today by adopting a mindset that you won't ruminate and focus on negativity. Check out the latest episode of the Mindful PharmD podcast for tips on how to improve your mindset. Like, share, and subscribe.